I've always considered antiquing to be a gentrified form of thrifting because they have pretty much all the same stuff as a thrift store would, but they upcharge you so much for basic items. I was antiquing with my mom on this day, and we came across this little shop, and all of their items were really, really beautiful. They had so many different kinds of jewelry, so many different kinds of clothes, and it was all really, really cute. So many different kinds of aesthetics represented too. However, the prices for everything were so outrageous. It was literally like so much money for the same items that I could get at the thrift store for a fraction of the cost. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more content like this. I love going antiquing, thrifting, going just to Goodwill Outlet and all of that jazz. So you'll always have a lot of fun going along on these adventures with me. Like I said, antiquing is definitely not for the weak. That little bit of candle was literally $12. At a thrift store, it would be under $3 for sure. And that's with inflation. Back in the day, it would have been even cheaper. The lady running this shop was so sweet though. She had a sale running on basically everything. I'm assuming it's because nobody was actually buying anything from her store, because this was actually in an alleyway that had a ton of other like thrift stores and Goodwills and just like discount stores all around, and all of them had a lot of people, but her store did not, probably because of the prices. Like I said though, the merchandise in the store was really, really nice, and I can see that she would definitely be justified with charging more than a normal thrift store, because she did spend all that time trying to find all this stuff and then price it, and she's obviously running a store and stuff, so I can't fault her for charging more than a typical thrift store would. All I'm saying though is that I do understand why there were not that many people in this store actually buying things. That being said, I do wish that I could have picked up a couple more items. Unfortunately, things are just a little bit out of my price range. However, I did end up picking up a couple of things still. These anklets were so cute, and I actually did grab one with a starfish on it. I love starfishes. I'm from Florida originally, so I think that starfish are just really cute. So I grabbed an anklet with one of those, and then I also grabbed a ring that had a big fake gem on it that I thought was really, really pretty. I've been meaning to get into more like accessories and rings and stuff, and I thought that both of these were a good way to like kind of go ahead and get started with that. I also picked up another necklace along the way. I was looking at the different kinds of bags and stuff that she had, as well as some jeans, because if you know one thing from my videos, you know that I absolutely love jeans and stuff, and I did not find anything that was really that cute. It did say that this was more of a vintage store than an antique store, but to be honest, I don't know what the difference is. I think that an antique store is kind of like a vintage store, to be honest. I guess maybe vintage might be referring more to a certain period or a certain aesthetic, and antique might just be referring to stuff that is really, really old. I don't know though. Let me know in the comments below if you know what the actual difference between antiquing and vintage thrift stores are. I don't know why, but all of these different kinds of clothes and stuff definitely do remind me of more like a 70s aesthetic, so I guess maybe it is like a vintage shop is more of a certain aesthetic and an antique shop is just for items that are really, really old. These purses were so cute. I really do wish that I could have gotten one of them, but I just couldn't justify paying that much. I'm like kind of on a no buy recently. I've been trying to be more mindful of what I've been spending and trying to make sure that I'm not spending too much. These visors made me laugh because a brand new visor was literally around $30 from the FSU bookstores, and she was selling selling them for 28. So I guess you do get a little bit of a discount, but you don't really get that much of a discount. Then I went over to look at all the different kinds of accessories that she had, including all of these cute little knit crop top things, and I thought that those were really cute. These jeans were $49, which actually for a pair of jeans is not that bad, especially in this day and age when things are just so outrageously expensive. I got my brother to show me something else that was super, super cute. This was actually the necklace that we ended up buying. It was $18, so a little bit expensive, but it is so, so cute. I love the little beads on there. I love the like homemade kind of feel, and it was pretty hefty too. So personally, I think that that was a really, really good buy. Plus, it was literally 50% off. All the jewelry items were 50% off. So that's why I did kind of splurge and get a ring, get an anklet, get a few different things from the jewelry items. I felt like it was a good enough deal. She clearly did care a lot about the store. There were so many different cute items there, and I felt like it was okay. This is actually a picture of the ring that I got. I thought that the ring was so cute. I put it back here, but I did go back and get it later. The purple gemstone on that ring was just so adorable to me. I really like this turquoise ring too, the flower with the turquoise in the middle. Turquoise is literally one of my favorite gemstones ever, so it was between that and the purple ring. I ultimately decided with the purple ring just because like that aesthetic is super cute, and I've been trying to expand my aesthetic recently, trying to just like get new items, get new jewelry items. I was also looking into different kinds of necklaces and stuff that she had. I thought that they were all so, so pretty. Not stuff that I would necessarily wear out day to day, but the raw materials for all of these things were just so adorable. I could definitely see myself wearing them in different features and like different kinds of fashions. And then I went back to different kinds of clothing racks that she had going on. I just think that the store was tiny, but it had so many great items shoved into it, and you can see me in the mirror. It had been a really long day of thrifting, so I was definitely getting a little bit tired by that point, and we hadn't had lunch yet either, so I was like hangry. That is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.